1 year ago today, I posted the gem guide, and that's how a lot of you found me. 300 of you anyway. Far and away the most viewed video on my channel, and it's a shame that it's outdated, but that's just nature running its course. So, welcome to the new and improved gem guide. I'll leave one little preface, like its predecessor, this video is angled towards newer players, and I will be repeating certain strategies and tips given in the original. So let's do it. So let's start out with Duel Quizzes. Oh, you've got to be fun. So yeah, Duel Quizzes that I opened the original gem guide with just straight up don't exist anymore. And knowing my luck, they'll come back after I make this video. Okay, so they still kind of exist, but the gems you can get from it has been nerfed considerably. So there's 14 quote-unquote quizzes available. 11 of the rewards are 15 gems. That's 165 gems you can get from these duel quizzes. As for loner deck duels and regular duel quizzes, not these glorified tutorials, well, they expire now. A loner deck and duel quiz is presented with every box, giving 60 gems for beating the loner deck and 30 for the quiz for a total of 90 per new box. And even though they expire now, you do have plenty of time to complete them, a month to be exact. And with the 500 gems Konami gives out with each new box, you'll get just under 600 guaranteed gems every time a new box comes out. While I do like these as additions, I don't like them as a complete replacement for duel quizzes and loner deck duels. But this is a gem guide, not one of my ranting tangents. But at the time of the last gem guide, there was over 6,500 gems to get from the quizzes and loner decks. Now poof, it's gone. And with that being said, there is some overall compensation for the quizzes and loner decks dying, and that has been the addition of more characters, of course. I see you though, Konami, scared to give us another duel monster character so we get some of that level 45 savory gem count. As of making this video, there are 86 characters in the game. I'm going to divide them into two groups, 29 of them in one and 57 in the other. For these 29 characters, their overall gem count for hitting level 30 is more than the other 57. These are the OG characters that have a 300 gem reward for hitting level 30 that has long since been replaced with a character specific card. These OG characters will hook you up with 1,540 gems each for leveling them up to 30, and the other 57 with a few outliers clock in at 1,240 gems per character. The outliers come from the lifetime missions, which I am factoring into the total, so you get 50 gems for leveling up characters to 10 and 30, but there's a couple of characters in the game that don't have a level 30 lifetime mission for some reason. So total for those Chad 29 characters is 44,660 gems, unchanged from the original gem guide, but the grand total for the other 57 is now 70,680 gems combined together makes 115,340 gems, or roughly 2,300 packs. But let's also factor in the remaining levels this time, just so we're going as hard as possible. 82 of the 86 characters exist beyond level 30. 17 characters can hit level 35, 25 of them cap out at 40, and 40 characters can hit level 45. The total gems for leveling these characters up to 45 from 30 is 1,450 gems for characters up to 45, all combined together is 58,000 gems on the money. It's 900 gems for all the level 40 characters, combined together makes 22,500 gems, and combined together for the level 35s we're looking at 7,650 gems. So with all of this factored in, the grand total for gems that you can get for leveling up characters in the game is 203,490 gems, or 4,069 packs. It takes years though. Yeah, you really got to be on the grind to do this, and for a long time, but the point is the most gem potential in the game definitely exists within the characters, and it gets trickier when you factor in the characters that you have to unlock, which is probably a video I should make in the future, but just bear that in mind. But also the recent character tickets introduced can let you get a character that you want quicker and squeeze the gems out of them faster. In the last gem guide, I focused a lot on how to farm these characters, and the reason for that, and why I will be doing that here too, is because it's not even really a debate. Characters are the best way to get gems in the game. So that's another reason I'd focus on unlocking characters early in your Duel Links career. So 500 EXP for a win and 250 for a loss. That's the structure for the EXP system in Duel Links. It's just fine at first, doesn't take long, not super challenging. I've had a harder time leveling up at the beginning of Fire Red since they decided to make the first two gyms rock and water, and all I choose is Fire and Pidgeot. As far as dueling goes, we have the standard duelist, the Vagabond, the PvP arena, and the gate. The Vagabond is a neat feature. It uses decks from actual players, giving it this ginormous range of difficulty difficulty. Its EXP reward is multiplied by 4 to 5 times whether you win or lose. Obviously you want to win because it'll be a lot more since it's a multiplier, but you'll still get a healthy chunk of EXP from the Vagabond even from a loss. Your EXP boosters, the Blue Jewel, does exactly what you'd think, multiplies your EXP, gives you 1.5 times the EXP for that duel that you use it in. Only use these against the Vagabond, since it's a multiplier of what you've already earned, which baseline from the Vagabond will always be higher. The Vagabond is recognized for its EXP farming, it's mostly why it's there, and he'll show up multiple times per day. Standard duelists are unique as their difficulty directly scales with where you are at in stage missions. So the more below you are on things, the easier the game is to you. Another unique thing about them outside of the Vagabond and event NPC duels is the auto duel feature. This is exactly what it sounds like. You let a computer duel using your deck, and it's about as hit and miss as you would expect, but it does save time. So you want to auto duel the standard duelist while you can. Having an auto duel deck is different for everyone, but generally you'll want some beaters. Usually you can manipulate a deck to be a very competent auto duel deck, especially against the lower levels. It's not too difficult, but Heroes, Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and a few others are standard. Personally, I still believe in vanilla beatdown. Now, they are not infinitely disposable. You can run out of standard duelists and will have to wait for their cooldown period to end, or utilize 10 duel orbs. This item will restore all standard duelists in the world, and so long as you have a lot of them, you can keep using them and keep auto dueling to gain a ton of EXP in a short amount of time. I see a lot of players talking about how they have 1,000+ duel orbs and they haven't leveled up all their characters and they just don't want to use them. It's like, mate, I'm always scrounging for some of these. It does become a useless item when you max out all 86 characters in the game, which even I haven't, but I'm pretty close, and I only know of a few people that are. But the point is, it's rare to be in a position where these aren't useful. And if you need gems and you have a lot of these, the answer is in front of you. All right, now that gate, let's start with the best advice I can give you freshly hatched. Check this at the bottom. This is your rewards multiplier. You can change it from ×1 to ×3. At ×3, you will be getting 3 times the experience and rewards from the duel. So if you win, you gain 1,500 EXP instead of 500, and you only have to duel once, making it literally 3 times as fast. But you cannot auto duel at the gate. It has to be a painstaking grind. But to make it easier, you can duel against the really bad level 10 legendary duelists. You won't get much from their drop rewards, but if you want gems fast, it's best to beat up on level 10 Taya, Yuma, or some of the other sidemen. Careful about Yuma though, he'll summon baby Tyragon on your ass. But it ain't free. Enter the gate keys. This is the cost of dueling at the gate. Every character requires standard gate keys to duel them, as well as gate keys of a specific color for different characters. At level 10 ×3, 72 standard gate keys and 21 specific gate keys is what it's going to cost you. So honestly, it's not a whole lot for 3 times the EXP. You get these gate keys by dueling in other ways. Standard duelists and the PvP arena are a good way to stockpile keys, and you'll farm EXP while you're doing that, and then you can grind the gate more. You don't even have to play in ranked, as they're a reward for casual duels too. This gate, in my opinion, is the fastest and most reliable way to level up characters, which by extension, as I said, is the best way to get gems. So how many duels altogether? Well, it's as inconclusive as it was last time because of the same outliers. For one, the 1.5 EXP campaign that comes to town from time to time does about what you would think, multiplies all EXP by 1.5 to where one win is 750 EXP as opposed to 500, or 2,250 EXP for a ×3 win. Once again, cannot stress enough, this is like our blood moon. This is when you grind and get those gems. But the other outliers are duel losses, the PvP arena, and the Vagabond. So with the outliers in mind, and generally speaking, it's 125 duels at 3 times EXP to level up characters to 30. But when factoring in the outliers, it does become a lot less. So we are talking months of grinding for that 200k, but you don't need it all at once. The maximum gem count is 9,999 anyway, and if you get any more while at that cap, they'll just be added to your gift box until you spend some and make room. Consider your regular gem count your wallet and your gift box your bank. But you need to have room in your wallet to pull more gems out of the bank. What I'm saying is you'll never need that many gems at once, and it's just part of the game, you know, that grind. We all deal with it. I've had calls in my Discord, which by the way, join the Eagle Nest, where 4 or 5 of us were just talking while farming for hours. No one is streaming, no one is playing ranked, we're all just suffering together. And when we're talking about about potential gem earnings, I think second place has to go to the events. Like the enjoyability of events, the amount of gems you can get from them varies. My estimate in the original gem guide was 500 to 800 gems per event, as some bigger events like the KC Cup give a disproportionately high amount of gems compared to others. But regardless, it's good to practice farming in events if you're really trying to keep your gem total high. You'll find these events throw spurts of 30 and 40 gems at you, but will eventually add up to hundreds. PvP events seem to drop more gems, but that's just speculative on my part, just kind of feels that way. And with events coming and going around every 2 weeks or so, you can just rinse and repeat. Then there's passive events like Duel Quest, for example, or Mission Circuit. By winning games, doing certain tasks, or honestly just playing the game in general will progress you in these events that reward you for basically just existing. Once again, gem count depends, but some of them I've seen go over a few hundred, and I think that's a fair estimate for some of these passive events. We'll call it 300 gems, give or take, mostly take. And hey, if you don't like the event and you ain't feeling it, don't feel bad about skipping one or just getting some of the gems. But a lot of people don't even complete events because to them, the event is over when the last gem was received. Personally, I take them for everything they're worth. I've finished every single event for over a year and a half straight. Y'all sleep on those rare orbs for those Prizzy upgrades, I swear. I know the PvP arena scares a lot of new players, but trust me, it shouldn't. We are all dumbasses in there. 2 times I've accidentally blown myself up with Zephyros the Elite's effect damage because I forgot about it. I've beaten members of the top player council in Legend, but I've lost COG rank up games to 30 card Bingo Machine Go Blue Eyes. And I'm not making that up. My point is, the challenge of PvP is less about I am better than you. It's more about persistence, playing even after you lose, and being aware of your misplays so you don't make them again. And Konami seems to structure the gem reward in the PvP arena accordingly. Once you've ranked up, you can't rank down until you've reached Legend Rank 2. You can D-rank back to Legend 1 and from Legend 3 to 2, but you'll never D-rank back to Platinum, effectively preparing you for going on win streaks that you need to hit King of Games. So all the while, you're gaining gems. Since the last gem guide, Konami has actually increased the amount of gems that you get for winning in duels and ranked. The chart looks like this. For your first 50 victories, you'll get a reward for each one. 10 of these rewards are jewels or tickets, but 30 of them are 5 gems apiece, and 10 of them are 20 apiece, bringing the total to 350 gems for your first 50 victories each season. From 50 to 100, you're getting a reward for every other victory, and that gives you in total another 160 gems, hooking you up with 510 gems per season minimum, since you also get gems for ranking up. Moving from Platinum 1 to 2 will get you 10 gems as an example, but moving from Platinum 7 to Legend 1 would be 100 gems, or Gold 7 to Platinum 1, Silver to Gold, you get it. And hitting that cream of the crop King of Games is 200 gems. You can also get 30 more gems for winning 120 and 160 games respectively, and maybe even more way up there in the stratosphere of wins. If you're brave enough to go up there anyway, count me out. And then there's stage missions, baby. You'll find these in each of the respective duel worlds. Completing stage missions is basically just a shopping list of things you need to do, defeat this certain duelist a certain amount of times, or use trap cards a certain amount of times, things like that. Once you've completed all the tasks, you've completed the stage mission, and that will earn you 50 gems, unless your Duel Monsters stage 60 and you give out 200. But yeah, Duel Monsters has 60 stages while the other 6 worlds only have 30. Did Konami forget about them? I don't know, probably. But that's 3,150 gems for completing all of Duel Monsters stage missions and 1,500 per for the other 6, making the grand total 12,150 gems for completing all stage missions in the game. Except it's actually a lot more, as individual tasks within the stage missions will also give you gems, putting this total well over 15,000 gems. A more annoying route, and like farming characters, can take some time, but it's always there for when you need gems. And all the while, you will simultaneously level up characters, gain in passive events, etc. Alright, so let's quickly clean up some stray gems. You get gems for completing weekly missions, though the total each week is negligible to say the least, usually around 30. Yeah, and they're weekly missions, not daily. Very generous. You can get gems directly by defeating legendary duelists. The amount you get ranges from 1 to 15, but having a higher duel assessment score helps too, and that is what your Black Jewel can help with. But at higher levels, they they are eating up a ton of your gate keys. So higher levels if you're looking for more gems or drop rewards from the character, but keep them at level 10 times 3 low keys for when you're trying to level up characters for gems specifically. And I guess you can literally just find them in random spots in Duel World 1 to 3 per, but it's kind of rare and doesn't repeat often. So and finally, Konami does their gem giveaways very frequently, usually in spurts of 20 to 80 gems for login bonuses, bonus campaigns, basically a thank you for not quitting the game yet. So in the end, this game literally has hundreds of thousands of gems to get. Surprises even me when I look at the numbers sometimes. It's just the time intervals, the soft locks, and all the farming. But as I've said, it's just kind of part of being a Duel Links player. Lastly, for this video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that has supported me over the past year, and a lot of you stayed from the original gem guide and watched my content improve over time and helped me get better. And I thank you guys so much for that. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one.